Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, of course, Health Coach Tavia, and I have another wonderful, amazing person on the line today. And I'm super excited to share all the things that she has to share. I am welcoming today and bringing on today my friend of, 25 years, Miss Chris Knight. Say hello, Chris, to everybody out there.
Hello.
Chris is actually calling in from Spokane, Washington, where she's a native Spokane, a native Spokane person, but she actually resides in Alabama, down south. Just a little bit to give you a little bit of insight, about Chris. She is the reason why I'm bringing her on. She's an amazing mom, first and foremost, of 7 kids. But not only that, she's a big entrepreneur. And the reason why I broke her on today is because she kind of broke the rules of the norm. And you guys know, if you've been listening to my podcast, I like to bring people on that have kind of broke the rules, done something different, shifted their mind, gone a different direction than the normal 9 to 5, what have you. And people that have, had some inspiration. You guys want inspiration out there, right? So you're going to get it today. Again, Chris Knight, she's an entrepreneur, mom of 7. She has 21 grandkids. God bless her. That's amazing. We're going to talk a little bit about how she became, went from owning a business, her and her husband, self-employed business, to stepping out and breaking the rules and creating the life she wanted and is living the life. So without further ado, welcome, Chris. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Tavia. That's a super awesome introduction. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we did break some rules big time. We were self-employed, had a traditional small printing and publishing business. And we did that for about 15 or so years when I decided that I needed to get away from our working so closely together and being in the house together. And I just wanted something a little bit different. Quite by accident, somebody came into our printing business and opened up the doors to me, in a different form of money. And I really looked at this and kind of got excited. Long story short, I started doing a little side hustle while I was still working with my husband at the printing business. And I started making some really good money to where I actually didn't have the time to go into the printing business. That actually turned his head when the check started rolling in. But that's what happened. And it completely changed pretty much the trajectory of where our whole life was in where it was heading. We had to get our kids up every morning, get them to school. We still would go to our print shop, and then we'd work all day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'd get the kids after school and we'd go back to the print shop, and I'd have a brand new baby and I'd raise this baby on the floor in the print shop just because it was sucking our life away. It was a great business. We had a great income, but the hours that my husband and I spent in that business was overwhelming. Yeah. And this other thing that came along, and I don't know how clear you want me to be on my other thing.
Yeah, we'll get into that thing in a minute.
Okay, yeah. So
we'll tell everybody what that thing was here in a second.
Okay. When that came around and I could start sharing some information about some health products that I really didn't know that I was interested in. I had struggled with some health issues that affected my daily working, and I didn't know that there was other options out there. I just figured this was normal and natural because my mom also had these problems. Yeah. Long story short, I started taking some supplements and my life turned around. And when I started sharing it, that's when things kind of went crazy for me.
Gotcha. So let's back up a little bit. I want to dig into some of this the dream that you had of you and your husband. Here you are, you have 7 kids, very busy with life itself. You had this dream of owning your own business, right? Being self-employed, like most people
Absolutely.
are.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, and that's great. And so you did the thing, you did the self-employment, you have this, here you are, you have this printing business, but you as a mom, you were still busy and you were basically employed, as you said, by kind of like your husband, but it wasn't really your dream.
Exactly.
You still weren't living your dream, and you still were, in a way, you were employing yourself. You still had a job, a job.
Exactly it.
Like to call just over broke in some world, right?
Right.
So here you are, and someone comes along, whoever, I don't know who shared it with you. Was it a friend? Someone?
No, it was just somebody coming into our print shop.
Someone comes into your print shop, sharing the good with you and says, hey, this might be something you want to do. Let your husband do this and you do this, and you ran with this. And so you did, and you took off. And it made sense, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So opportunities come along, come knock on our door. This one they came through your door at various reasons. And I want to point this out to some of the listeners out there that, opportunities, not everything is for everyone, right?
Right.
This was for you. And so here comes this opportunity, and you rolled with it. And okay, take me through that. So here we go. Let's roll it out to everybody. What this one thing was, what this magical product or this magical company that came in your line. Tell me about this company. Tell me.
It's really kind of interesting, Tavia, because this happened 26 years ago. Okay. And this woman came into the shop because she needed some flyers done. And I don't believe things happen for a reason, on accident. Just like you said,
right.
We were a trade shop. We did not take people off the street. Somehow this woman, we printed for other print shops. This woman found us. She lived in Idaho, came clear to Washington State, tracked my husband down, and was able to get in our doors, and him giving her a price. And she was just somebody off the street. We should never have taken the job. It was printing flyers to advertise a doctor who was coming to town to talk about a new discovery in science and medicine, and to explain about this new glyconutrient that most doctors don't even know about, nor have they heard about or have been trained in. Okay. So we're printing this paper that should not have been in my shop. And my husband's like, well, you know what? We really should go check this out.
Yeah.
So he was feeling like his dream of owning this print shop and being self-employed and being in control of your time and your money and all this freedom that was supposed to come along with that. He actually was feeling like he had no time. He had no freedom, that we were married to our shop. And he wasn't thinking that this was a way out. At the time, there was a flesh-eating virus that was really rampant back then. And this information suggested that if you had a strong immune system, you could fight off the problems. Okay. So that was one of the biggest things. We went to go hear this doctor so that we could get information on something that could build our immune system. Okay. And long story short, that was it. Interrupt me if I get into something I shouldn't be saying.
No, this is great. No, I'm totally following you.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know the story either. Or if you ever told me, I forgot a long time ago.
Okay. So we hear this doctor talk, and all I could think about was, I want to keep my family healthy and safe. Okay. If it does come, I don't want to get it as bad as everybody else is getting it. And I would like to not get it. So we immediately started taking these glyconutrients. When probably 2 months into it, all of my life, I have suffered with very bad pain in my head. And I just, no rhyme or reason to it. It would just come irregularly and it would put me in bed. I was not pleasant to be around. And within 2 weeks of taking these glyconutrients, I noticed that I had mental clarity that I have not had in a long time. I had some extra energy that I always thought that I was pretty high energy, but I felt really great. And probably the second month in, I was talking to my mom about these different ailments that I had had and sharing that I no longer had them. Okay. And that was my first sharing of these glyconutrients. And mom said, well, I would like to try them. from that time on, that's all I did was just with a few people that I was around telling them my story of what's happened for me. Yeah. And, we never did get the flesh eating virus.
Thankfully.
Of all probably the proudest I am is that with these kids, we lived in the country, we raised animals, we were kind of wild and crazy. And we had, I didn't really go for the vaccination or the immunizations, vaccinations, that kind of stuff. We kind of kept everybody pretty healthy. The first 3 kids got their shots when they were born. And from there, we kind of did some research and found that we might want to do things a little more natural.
Okay.
And so when these glyconutrients came into our house, all of a sudden it was like, this is a really great fit. And the only time before all of my kids were out of the house, and our baby just turned 23 and she's been out for about, 5 years.
Yeah.
But when all of the kids were out of the house from that time on, from starting the glyconutrients 25 years ago, 26 almost, we saw a doctor, emergency room, medical, anything, probably 3 times. And that was for broken bones or stitches. And these things, we just had super healthy kids, super healthy home, and being self-employed also. There was a lot of times that the medical insurance bill didn't get paid, or we had a lot of lapses in medical insurance. So it wasn't something that we were running to the doctor's office all the time anyway. This was our medical insurance, these glyconutrients. So that is awesome. These kids, my sister's kids were in the doctor's office like every other month, and we just didn't have that at all. No experience of that at all growing up. So the glyconutrients changed our life in the sense of our health and optimal health. But on a side note, what happened comparing my working from home from this company and working at the shop for the print shop is I could do my business at the park.
Yeah.
I could do my business anywhere that I was. I'd be in the grocery store and run into a mom with a kid we'd just start talking. And from there, I'm doing my business.
Yeah.
And I like those hours.
Yeah. No, definitely. So let me pause you for a second. So here you are, you started this glyconutrient business. Someone shared a meeting or this doctor coming in town talking about it. You attend, you're like, wow, this is what we need in our life. Here you are. You started it up, and probably not the intention of necessarily making it a business, right?
Exactly. And I was never going to tell anybody about it. Never.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then it's like, it's so good. It's one of those things where it's so good, you got to share it, right?
Exactly.
It's like, I feel like things come into our life for a reason too. And if it's for someone, it may not be for someone else. That's fine too. Right.
True.
But so let's talk about since this is a health and wellness and podcast, and I talk about health, wellness, and all things life and all things business too, but we're wrapping it all in one. But I want to talk about what are glyconutrients, because a lot of people are like, what the heck are these? Maybe I want to get my hands on these. And I'm going to say from my perspective too, excuse me, Chris shared these with me about 25 years ago. I had endometriosis, and that was the reason why I started on these products a long time ago. And they changed my life, and they changed my cycles. They changed how I felt. I had a lot of migraines and stuff like that too. And they really helped me a lot too. So I was really blessed and very grateful that you shared it with me. And then we became really great friends, which is the best part of that. Yeah. But so let's talk about what glyconutrients are, because it's kind of a new technology. And I feel like listeners out there need to know about this. And especially if you are out there and you're suffering, or you're like looking for something, I think this might be something people might want to check out, right? So tell me about what glyconutrients are.
Okay. Kind of in a nutshell, every cell in our body needs to communicate.
Right.
And in order to communicate, they've got to have these little super sugars on the surface of the cells. Okay. Glyconutrients are all of the known sugars that our cells need to communicate. And if you can we get 2 of these sugars in our diet regularly, lactose and
Glucose, right?
glucose, yes.
Glucose, yeah.
And our body's a miraculous machine. It knows how to convert these two sugars into the rest of the ones that our body needs. But if we're not, and that's in a perfect environment, no stress, good food, good environment, that kind of thing. And if we're in a bad state, our body has a horrible time trying to convert these. And a lot of times can't do the conversions. So what a glyconutrient is I take a powdered form and it is already broke down to where my cells can use it. It goes straight into the body and immediately gives my cells what my cells and body needs so that it can complete the communication process. When that happens, our fighter cells do their job. Like in Tavia's case, where the autoimmune was one where her body was attacking itself, it stops that process. It makes your cells communicate to where your body does what it was intended to do, and that's heal, repair, regenerate, and all healthy tissues and cells.
Right.
Is that an easy explanation?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was like, did I lose you for a second? Oh, yeah. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, yeah. So, what is it? Glucose and galactose, right? We get those two.
Yes.
Galactose and glucose. Yeah. So everybody gets glucose, obviously. Okay. So this is a powder form. This isn't like, you can get it probably in capsules form also, but it's basically, it's a powder. It's a powder that you take on a daily basis.
Yes, it is. And the powder just keeps it, helps this product to keep a long shelf life. Wow. And pretty much everyone who's still breathing on this planet right now would benefit from this product. Amazing. And what's really awesome is, you can take it for 180 days. It's got a 100% money back guarantee. Companies don't do that. They don't offer that kind of a guarantee. Yeah. 100% satisfaction guarantee. And because they know this stuff works. So.
That's amazing. So tell me about some of the, how the lives that you've changed. Tell me about some of the things you've seen with this product.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is kind of a area that I would just love to just start throwing out there story after story after story. But we have been our hands tied because we can't mention specific disease condition.
Right. FDA and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Without getting any of us in trouble. Sure. People that have literally been given a death sentence are still alive today, 24 years later. My father-in-law is a perfect example. He was diagnosed with stage 4, you know what? And
the C word?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
And that was 9 years ago. And they literally told him, get your affairs in order. You are going to die. Probably gave him 90 days and hoped that he would make the 90 days. It's been 9 years later and he is doing absolutely fabulous. That's why we're in Alabama, because we went down there to spend his last days with him. And here we are still there. The man's 74 years old and he's still working. So if I had my mom on here, she could tell you stories that are absolutely phenomenal just in her own health. She is 84. She just turned 84 in January, and she was medically blinded because she had great insurance and the doctors played God. And that happened about 30 years ago. But my mom still lives by herself. She functions completely. She's on absolutely zero medications. Wow. And she's thriving. And she takes these glyconutrients and has for 25 years. She wouldn't go a day without them. She'd rather not have food in her refrigerator, in her cupboards, but don't touch her glyconutrients.
Oh, Mom.
Yeah, she's awesome. It's like, and that's the kind of stuff I think that, I get phone calls all the time from people saying, yeah, I've got this friend or family that's got this really bad problem. Do you think these things will work? Well, here's the beauty of this stuff. Anyone who is still breathing, they have cells. We have trillions of cells in our bodies. If we can keep our cells healthy and fed, then our cells will do exactly what this miraculous machine is supposed to do. Right. Problem is we've got so many fast foods, we've got food colorings, we've got dyes, we've got chemical additives, our food is pretty much horrible. And so many people eat out of a can, a box, or a bag.
Right.
when they're not driving through.
Right.
And so, we can't really, not all of us have a garden, and not all of us are going to sit out there and eat it from as it's ripening in the garden. So we've got to do some supplementation. Used to be supplementation was a luxury. It's not today.
No, it's needed.
It's absolutely essential.
It's essential. Yeah. I like that word better. Absolutely. Yeah, no. And you said it. And the other thing is to, and to piggyback on that, this is what I do with my clients too, is when I get so many people that are coming into me that are sick, obviously, as a health coach, and there's always a root cause, right? And one of the root causes that I always talk about is obviously nutrition, but there's other components of problems with disease, and, genetics plays a component, but environmental is a huge thing. You touched on that, but we're all exposed to so many toxins. Oh God, how many is it a day? I just read up on that, but anyways, we're exposed to hundreds, if not thousands of toxins today,
Right.
Garbage in, garbage out. And what's supporting us? What is our immune system? What builds our immune system? It's what we put in our bodies.
Exactly. Yeah. What we breathe in and put in, feed it, and on it, even down to that. So things changed radically for me a long time ago. I used to actually be a big gulp. If anybody can remember what a big gulp is, it's like a 64-ounce Coke from 7-Eleven. I used to drink one of those every single day and wonder why I was always feeling bad and having diet problems. Now I'm 60 next month. I turned 60 years old, and I feel better than I did in my 30s. And, you mentioned garbage in, garbage out. We hope that the stuff that we eat that's bad comes out. Problem is our cells are so busy trying to repair and keep us alive and optimal that, a lot of times this stuff we start dying in our colon first. Yeah. And so it's important for people to get some good glycos in them, and ones that have the science that backs them up, that actually proves the efficacy. And then the other thing with that was, brother, I'm so sorry. I just drew a blank on that line.
Garbage in, garbage out, and the our gut, and talking about the gut health. That's absolutely.
How important it is. Oh, water. You mentioned the water too. We need to be drinking water to flush our systems, and taking the glyconutrients. We have this big, huge problem out in the world, the planet right now today, where we've all shut down because of the corona. Okay. And, there's a lot of people that I know that are not afraid, that are still living their life. It did not affect my business whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it probably went a little bit more crazy, but, it's so vital today to keep your immune system doing exactly what it's supposed to do, so that your body can do what it's supposed to do.
Right.
And that's keep us alive, healthy, and optimal. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I remember learning about this a while back, and I remember talking about how this is like an immune modulator.
Exactly. That's okay. I didn't know how far we wanted to go into this, but if you have an overactive immune system with, say, I think lupus is an overactive immune system, you don't want to take some product that's going to actually make your immune system even more active. And if you have an underactive, which a lot of us do, then you don't want to take something that's going to suppress your immune system. So this glyconutrient actually is so incredible that it goes in and finds out what your body needs to have done. It will increase your immune system or decrease depending on what your body needs to have done. It is, there's nothing else like it on the planet.
It's amazing. It's amazing technology, and it's like, if a listener out there is like, wow, if this is so great, then why haven't I heard about it?
Well, remember, there's no money in a cure. Your doctor's not going to tell you about it because he can't keep treating you if you're well.
Right.
And the way that this product is put out there, they did try back when the company opened. They did try to put this on shelves in a store, but because the way this product is flash freeze dried so that they can keep the properties all fresh and what is that called? Active. It didn't sell. And because the price was a little higher than the other stuff right next to it. So if you put a $100 bottle of aloe vera on the shelf next to a $10 bottle that says 100% pure aloe vera, most consumers are just going to grab that $10 bottle because
Right.
both of them say 100% pure aloe. Well, this one did not sell. And it was because it needs to have word of mouth. It needs to have the people behind it that are saying, oh my gosh, I just tried this and you're not going to believe what happened for me. And, we do have the science. I work with a lot of doctors and they want to know, hey, what do you have to back this up? Why are you telling me that your garlic's better than my garlic or something? Well, here's the research on that. And it's not really garlic, but that's just throwing that out there.
Now, do they have some, I think they do, correct me if I'm wrong, they do have some studies, they have some double-blind placebo studies too, or no? I thought
yes, there's lots of studies, and there's studies on humans, not animals, and there's studies on our products.
Okay, good.
Not just specific ingredients. It's actually, these are fabulous studies. They're very, very well-rounded. They're from very credible places. So yes, the studies are there. I can send anybody a website and they can go check. If it's a medical person, they'll understand this kind of verbiage, but yep, it's there. I have it.
Amazing. Yeah. And do your research, right? If this is something that's interesting you, if you're listening to this is something that's like intriguing you, if you're a medical professional out there too, if you want more information, absolutely. Chris can get you the information, or I can as well. We will, she does have a website that I'm going to plug right now. It's www.smartsugar.com.
Yes.
Smartsugar.com. And like she said, she was like these sugars. And I want to clarify something else too, that we talked about these sugars. No, we're not talking table sugar, guys. So a lot of times people are like, what sugars? We don't need more sugar. We don't need more crap in our diet. No. This is something different. So I wanted to clarify that too, for people that are thinking this does, that didn't make sense to them. And so if you are like a diabetic, is this safe? And the answer is
absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I have some diabetes.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. So, okay, Chris, this has been amazing information. So I want to thank you for being on. I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. I want to thank you for being on and sharing this new discovery with us. And if people want information, obviously they can go to your website, smartsugar.com, and reach out. If there is some more information, obviously you can always reach out to me on my podcast or message me on Instagram at healthcoachtavia.com, or healthcoachtavia is my handle on IG. Any last words for anybody that's out there that's like, any kind of last final words that you just want to share about this that's exciting or upcoming that maybe I don't even know about? Is there anything new or anything that exciting that?
Well, if you're talking about the product in general, there is always new science and new technology that's showing up, and this company is cutting edge with that. But as for, right now with where we're at on this planet and where people are at kind of living in fear and not living as, this isn't normal living, people closed up, not seeing each other, not seeing our faces, not seeing our smiles and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to say, you know what, this too will pass. And there's something out there that you can do to keep yourself strong, your body strong, and look into these glyconutrients, because there's no reason to live in fear. And God bless you all.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you. I want to piggyback on that too. Yeah, we don't need to live in fear, and there are things out there that help people. You just have to kind of look and keep one eye open, and be open to the information. I was open to the information, and be skeptical. Everybody can be skeptical. That's okay. You're skeptical, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, being skeptical, that means you're going to do your own due diligence, and you're going to find your way, and you're going to find what works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Share it with someone else that might. But I'm pretty excited about you sharing this information. I think this is vital information. And not only did you break the rules and went from a mom of 7, well, you're still a mom of 7. I would say. We didn't take that away from you. You're a mom of 7, grandkids of 21. You broke the rules. You went out and you were trying to live this dream and having this own self-employment. And then you're like, boom, I want to kind of break the rules. I want to step out. I want to be me. I want to help people. I want to save lives. I want to share this with the good. And not to mention, you're living the life you want. You're traveling. You get to see all your kids.
Yeah. I just can't imagine this. I never ever dreamt that this would be something that I would want to do. I was the farthest from nutrition. I just really trashed my body. I was really hard on myself, and I still like the sun. I still work. I'm in the sun all the time, but I think that I couldn't imagine where I was and where I'm at right now. And it's truly living a gifted life. I get to help people. I get to make a difference in people's lives. People actually are thrilled to death to have met me because of these things. And I'm so grateful to that.
Yeah.
It's something I don't deserve. And I am so grateful for it.
That's amazing. I love it. Living the gifted life. I wrote that down. I love it. That's great. And that's how I feel like everybody should believe in living the gifted life, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely. So there is, obviously we talked about, I talked about this. This is a business. This is a business opportunity too. If someone is interested in that side of it, obviously that again is not for everybody. This is more importantly, what I want to point out in this podcast is the importance of this information and starting there. This by no shape or form is this a sales pitch to anyone out there. If that is something you want to look at, like I said, that's there for you. But right now, I just want to share this information. Chris and I wanted to share it. You do your own research, you do your own due diligence, but it is phenomenal science. I get a kick out of this. I'm kind of a geek like that with the science. So I could talk all day about it, but we only have so much time in the podcast. So anyways, without further ado, I am going to conclude there. Again, if you want information on more about glyconutrients, it's smartsugar.com, and Miss Chris Knight can help you get that information. So
thanks for having me, Tavia. I really appreciate it.
Yes, no, I'm so excited you're here. So thank you, everybody, and have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next episode of the Sweet Life Podcast. Bye-bye for now.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.